what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Can I get a Detroit basketball, man? Yo, the preseason starts up this week, and I noticed looking at my catalog of videos that I have not really given my thoughts on the Detroit Pistons in a very, very long time, man. It is my favorite team. I love them. I convinced people on Twitter today that I got a job as their assistant head coach. That part, I mean, I am not the assistant head coach of the Detroit Pistons, but I do have some good thoughts, and if they're looking, like, I'll toss some Gatorade around or something, bro. Like, whatever you want me to do, man. I'll even do it I will pay you guys to let me be part of the organization, okay? So I figured for today's video, with preseason rolling around, that I would give my thoughts on the team, kind of like my expectations. We got some new pieces, obviously, all that good stuff. So if you guys want some more discussion videos like this, be sure to drop a like on the video. 1 trillion likes is always the goal. And let's get into it, man. So, let's talk about what are the expectations. Well, not last season, but the season before. If you guys remember, I was wearing a bag on my head, and they had 14 wins, okay? And then the next season rolled around, 44-38. So by that math logic, we are going to be a 96-win team this season, man. No, obviously, that's impossible to happen unless you include playoffs. Yeah, I think that works out actually perfectly right there, man. If we were just like sweep the playoffs and everything, maybe count some mid-season tournaments or stuff in there too. All that weird stuff that's going on these days. But no, man, so 44 wins. Is that the expectation? Do we try to go for 50 wins? I'm thinking about the roster. I'm thinking about the new guys that we got that we're going to talk about in a little bit here. And I think like 45 wins is probably the best bet, okay? Not to say they couldn't do better. Like obviously Cade is a former #1 pick, so he very well could just have that type of jump. And it's like, oh shoot, we have a first ballot Hall of Famer right here, man, which, well, I don't want to say yeah, but I think that's the trajectory that he's on, right? And then, yeah, you put him in the Eastern Conference there, and it's just all of a sudden, the Pistons are winning, 50-plus games every single year, like the good old days, back where this hairline didn't take a step back 3, okay? So that kind of does lead into, like, Cade's growth and development as a player. I mean, what do we expect out of him this upcoming season? I mean, I think the big thing is obviously limiting the turnovers. Now, I want to phrase that better. It's okay to get turnovers, but situational turnovers, right? Like when there is when you're in clutch time and you just need to score and then you turn the ball over, man, it can just really be a big buzzkill. Now, if it's like the second quarter and the Pistons are up by 17 and you turn over, okay, that's not that big a deal, right, man? But lowering and limiting the turnovers. Now, obviously, that comes to with having some trust in the other teammates. Having some secondary ball handlers, looking at guys like Ivy. They brought in Karis LeVert, who we'll talk about more in a bit here. All those types of dudes obviously will help because that means the ball will be out of Cade's hands at times, and helping him, kind of make the right decisions out there. But I think Cade Cunningham, I mean, do I think he's going to win MVP? No, I don't. Do I think he's a top 10 player next season? I think very well so. I don't see any reason why he is not on that trajectory. And I don't think that's a hot take. I think he is that amazing, and he's going to be even better. It's insane to think about, bro. He is literally Paul Pierce with a bag, and I mean that in the best of ways. So beyond Cade, you got to look at the rest of the court, because you have Cade, then you have the guys around him. Ivy, Asar, Duren, obviously all a season older now. And what are my expectations from those 3 players? Even want to include like Ron Holland in there. I mean, Duren, just continue being the beast that you are. Work on it, from a consistent standpoint. You don't want to be known as one of those guys, like a J.R. Smith type where you don't honestly know what you're going to get night in, night out, right, man? Duren needs to kind of be like Bam Adebayo and just be that beacon of consistency and, just play the right way. Don't make any stupid choices. And if he wants to expand on his game, fine. But I think what he does out there already is pretty damn good and important for this team. Now, if you want to start busting 40% from 3 like a Brook Lopez, great. Not really an expectation, though. And then you look at Ivy. I mean, Ivy just really has to continue on the path he was on before he got injured last year. He was shooting like 45% catch and shoot 3, and I think 41% in total up until the injury. And that was kind of the big flaw between him and Cade. Before he was doing that was, how are these guys going to play together? If Ivy needs the ball in his hands, that means it's not in Cade's hands all the time. And, obviously that can be a bad thing, right? But Ivy has learned to play off ball, as we kind of alluded to earlier. I think him being able to handle the rock more is going to help Cade limit the turnovers. But overall, just keep on improving on that, staying healthy. That's the really big important part for Ivy. Asar Thompson, man, like he might be my favorite player. I don't know. I really like Asar Thompson. I love so much about his game. He definitely is like that bad boys era type, gonna do all the dirty work out there. Now, offensively, he's going to have to expand out his game. I read some reports that him and Ron Holland were really working on their chemistry together and everything. I think that they are similar builds, but I think there's different skill sets between the two that, they were working out together, learning from each other. I think that's growing together, right, man? They can kind of take pieces from each other's games and put it into their own. That's amazing. And then, talking about Ron, also, Asar, just, make your three-point shots, too, if you can. Okay, man, thank you. And then obviously looking at Ron Holland, I mean, he really showed some good, really amazing glimpses last season about the player that he could be in the long term. And right now, he's not going to be asked to be the man ever. Now, what he needs to do is he needs to come off the bench. He needs to be extremely active, energetic. He needs to be the small forward of beef stew, right? Just bring that high energy. And that's kind of how the Pistons, historically have really thrived. It's not just one guy. It's just everybody bringing that energy game in and game out. And I think he has that type of, form to him already, man. I think we're going to see even more of that now that he's got a season of confidence under his belt. So, yeah. Then, they got the rookie, too, that Chaz Lanier. And I don't know much about him. I do know he's an old head rookie. He's like 24 or something like that already. Maybe 22. But I'm pretty sure he's pretty similar to, like, Malik Beasley, where he just plays similar. Malik Beasley run off screens and all that. That's what Chaz is going to be doing, right, man? Beasley, I don't even know. He's not on the team, is he, man? He's still having them issues, right? Where's he going to go? I don't know. At this point, I would still like him back. Do I think we sign him based off a guy that knocked down, 300 plus threes last season or whatever it was? No, because I don't think he's going to do that again. I don't think he will ever do that in his career again. And that's not because he's not capable. It's just that it was that amazing, right? So that does make me a little nervous. Just when you talk about like a 45 win team or whatever, like a lot of things went well last year, right? I mean, obviously they lost Ivy too, though. So you lose the shooting of Malik Beasley, but you get Ivy back. You bring in a guy like a Duncan Robinson, who is one of the best guys, running off screens. Playing with Cade and Ivy, I think Duncan Robinson is really going to thrive, in his role, assuming that, you just don't care about his damn podcast. But, I'm excited to see what Duncan Robinson brings. Michigan Wolverine, big U of M fan. And then the other dude from Michigan, Karis LeVert, been watching him since, he's been freaking 18, 19 years old. Baby Durantula. And what I like about Karis is that he is the most average player in the league. And that is a great thing for a role player that you need efficiency and consistency from, right? He's going to come off the bench and he's going to do his job. And every now and then you might have to start a game and he's going to do his job. And then he's going to get injured and I'm going to cry because he's been doing it since I've been watching him since he's been 18 years old at University of Michigan. Dude got injured all the time, man. But, he's not going to be asked to play 30 plus minutes a game or anything. If you can come out for 20, 22 minutes every single game, that would be absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't even mind giving a little shot at point guard. Maybe that's weird, but I don't mind Marcus Sasser. It's just, I kind of, I don't know. I don't know if Sasser's a backup point guard type. I think he's a backup shooting guard. I think he's a Colin Sexton type, right, man? All right, so what would be their identity going into the season? I think you really got to look at, what were they doing last year in the playoffs? What were they doing in the regular season? Man, they're bringing that defense. Detroit Pistons. Don't forget it, man. But it's just exciting. I'm excited for a basketball season. Like, I was excited. Well, they had 14 wins. This is my first time being excited. Like, from your baseline fan excitement. Like, yes, every year I'm excited for basketball to start, but I'm excited to witness my team potentially do really well and going into the season knowing that. So, yeah, man, the health is a big thing. They got to be shooting consistently out there. The bench production is going to be huge. But that's about it, man. The young player leaps, all that good stuff. I think we're all excited. I think even if you're not a Piston fan, you look at the team. I think the NBA is better when the Pistons are good. Okay, man. So New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers, Cleveland Cavaliers. Y'all are some great basketball teams. But the Detroit Pistons are coming next year, and y'all better freaking expect it this time around, okay? Because we ain't gonna be no 14-win team, okay? We're gonna be 45 plus, and we're gonna be a top 4 seed in the playoffs. And we are going to win a playoff game, and we are going to win the first round, and we are going to probably lose in round 2 in a 6-game series, maybe 7. Assuming everyone stays healthy, because I agree with Beef Stew, and yes, what-ifs don't matter. Like in a what-if scenario, it doesn't matter. But the New York Knicks, I think, would have had a hell of a lot tougher time with the Detroit Pistons. Beef Stew was healthy last year, bro. So I'm going to say, okay? Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.